to make our origami cat or dog, you're going to need scissors, a pencil, and something to color with. I'm going to use some colored pencils. You're also going to need a piece of paper. So if you happen to have square paper, then you're good to go. And it doesn't really matter what size paper you use. Just know that the bigger the paper you use, the bigger your origami is going to be. If you use a really small piece of paper, you're going to have something really small. So I have a rectangular piece of paper, which is how most pieces of papers come in. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a square. In order to do so, you're going to take one of the corners, let's say this bottom left corner, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to this side over here so that this bottom side is flush with this side. Flush means it's right up against this line. So I'm going to grab this corner and I bring it all the way up here to this side until it's flush over here. Just like that. Then I'm going to fold right here. So we're not bringing this corner over here to this corner. We're just going to bring it up until it touches the side and then it's right along this side. The bottom is right along this side. Once you have that, then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut off right here all that extra paper we don't need. That big rectangle right there. Awesome. You can keep this, maybe make some other origami another time, or you can just throw it in the recycling bin. So when we open this, now we have a square. Alright, so now that we have our square, now what we're going to do is we're going to start folding. So the first fold that we're going to do is we're going to fold this bottom side and bring it all the way to the top. We're basically folding this square in half. Really want to make sure you do your best to make sure that these edges are lined up almost perfect, because the more perfect that you fold your origami, the better it's going to turn out in the end. Next, we're going to fold it in half the other way. So we just folded it this way from the bottom to the top. Now we're going to fold it from left to right. All right. So you can see that we created a T shape right here. We're going to ignore this diagonal fold. We're just going to focus on this T fold. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring each corner to 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to bring them, all of them, to the center. So that center point right there. We're going to do our very best to line everything up perfectly. So notice how I'm bringing the corner to the center, and I'm also making sure that this edge is lined up perfectly with that crease right there that we just created. All right, 2 down, 2 more to go. All right. So what we basically did was we made our big square into a smaller square by bringing all the corners to the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's facing us so that it looks like a square. We got the bottom over here, top, left, and right. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the flap on the left and the flap on the right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this left corner right here, right next to this crease that we just made. So I'm going to bring it over here. And right when it touches, that's when I'm going to fold. We're going to bring this corner and we're actually going to put our finger right along this triangle, and we're going to bend the corner over our finger. And right when it starts to kind of go around your finger, that's when you're going to stop, and then you're just going to press down right there. So it should look something like this. All right, so the next step is going to be, we're going to go back to the left side, and we're actually going to bring the whole side of this in, just like that. So we're going to keep that corner that we just folded tucked in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this the bottom all the way to the top. So we're folding everything in half. Make a nice crease. All right. So this is probably going to be one of the toughest parts of this origami fold. So we're going to go back inside here. And we're going to grab that corner that we just tucked in there. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to bend this so that we end up with a diagonal crease from this corner to that corner. And then what's going to happen is this edge right here is going to meet the edge over here. So once that edge meets this edge, then we're going to make sure that this corner gets creased all the way to the corner over there. So again, this is probably going to be the most difficult fold, but once you get this down, then your origami cat or dog is going to turn out great. Alright, see how it was from this corner to that corner? I was a little off, but that's okay if you're just a little bit off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab this corner out of here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have a crease from this corner to that corner. So this might take a little practice. You might have to do it a couple different times to get it right. All right. So this is what it should look like all the way around. All right, so now what we're gonna do is there's already a fold diagonally on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to just continue that, and we're going to go to the other side and do the same. You see that there's a nice diagonal fold right here, and we're just going to continue that. now we're finished. So now I'm going to show you how you can design this to either look like a cat or a dog. Here I attempted to create a cougar over here, or you can call it a cat, or even kind of looks like a fox a little bit. But there's something else that you can do to kind of make this look a little bit more like a dog. So you could do a cat by designing it on here, or what you could do is you could design it so that it looks more like a dog. In order to do that, what you're going to do is right here where that mouth is, which is right here, underneath, what you can do is you can kind of grab with your thumb, pull it out a little bit, and it's going to give you more of a snout. Once you pull it out, you're going to flatten it. So you can see how it's kind of more like a snout now, and I'll show you in my design process how we can make it look like a dog or, like I said, a cat. Alright, so right here, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a nose. So I'm just going to create like a half circle shape, just like I did over here in my cat example. And cats and dogs have very similar mouths as well. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to go down, make a line, and give my dog a nice little smile. Give my dog nice big eyes. And then over here where it makes that corner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines. And then eventually I'm going to color that inside of the ear. Some dogs have eyebrows, so if you wanted to design like a little eyebrow up here for your dog, you could do that. Depending on what kind of dog that you want to create, Rottweiler, German Shepherd, Golden Retriever, Chihuahua, Pomeranian, whatever kind of dog you want. Your dog might have a pointy nose if you want to keep it pointy, or you can do that technique that I showed you earlier, where you can create like a bigger kind of snout. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to design the legs. So we're going to draw 2 legs on this side, and then we're going to draw 2 legs on the other side, just like my example over here. In order to do so, what we're going to do first is we're going to draw the paws. So we're just going to draw a nice curve, like nice oval shape, right at that corner. Then we'll go to the other corner and do the same. Next, I'm going to draw 3 curved lines to show some of those toes in the paws. All right. And then to make these look more like legs, what we're going to do is we're going to draw 1 vertical line here, and then another vertical line over here connected to these paws. So this vertical line is touching the back of this paw, and then this vertical line is kind of towards the front of this paw. Then depending on like your dog shape, you could either do a vertical line here, or maybe you could do like a little bit of a curve. I'm going to do a little bit of a curve that kind of goes up a little bit. All right. Last but not least, if you wanted to add any details in your dog, I'm going to make this dog kind of more into like a mutt. So it's kind of a mix between a lot of different dogs, because I really like mutts and I like how they have lots of different colors. So I'm going to give my dog some spots. Now what I can do is I can marker everything in. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. There you have it. Origami dog and origami cat. Two different ways you can make it, but pretty much the same, technique as far as folding. You can design any kind of dog you want, any kind of cat you want, and it can even stand on the table. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This was a lot of fun. See you next time.